Good night to
Boa
you
noite a
all.
todos.
Brasília,
2 de
June
julho,
2nd, Thursday,
quinta-feira, 19
7
horas.
p.m.
Ah, Gilson.
Vamos lá.
Let's go.
Riacho do Navio, que agora vai
I will
Ceará.
play a song for Ceará State.
Só vim pro Pajeú, o Rio Pajeú vai despejar no São Francisco. O Rio São Francisco agora vai pro Ceará. Laiá, 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 laiá. Presidente Bolsonaro levou o Rio pro Ceará. Ai, se eu fosse um peixe afundando do rio, nadava contra as águas e nesse desafio saía lá do mar pro Riacho do Navio. Eu ia direitinho pro Riacho do Navio pra ver o meu brejinho, fazer uma caçada, ver as pegadas boi, andar nas vaquejadas, dormir a sombra estudar e acordar com a passarada. Sem rádio, sem notícia das terras civilizadas, sem rádio, sem notícia das terras civilizadas.
Thank you, Gilson.
À minha esquerda
On
aqui,
my left,
a
Elisângela, the
ela é
interpreter,
intérprete de Libras. O
Rogerio
nosso
Marinho,
do
from the
MDR,
Ministry
Ministério
of
de
Regional Development. It
Estava
was
previsto
foreseen
hoje
to
aqui
have
o
here
Tarcísio,
Tarcísio
da
from
infraestrutura, mas ele teve que ir ao Rio de
infrastructure,
Janeiro
but he had
e
to
estará no
come
IME,
to
Instituto
Rio
de
de
Engenharia,
Janeiro.
onde falará sobre
He's going to
ferrovias
talk
no
about
Brasil. Então, semana
railways
que vem,
in Brazil. Next
e,
week,
com toda certeza,
Tarcísio
o
will be
Tarcísio
here,
estará
but
aqui. Mas o
Marinho,
Marinho estava previsto semana
we
que
just
vem, apenas fizemos
exchanged
uma
days.
inversão aqui. Temos aqui o
Jorge
Jorge
Seif,
né?
our
É o nosso
Secretary
da
of
pesca, vai falar
Fishing,
rapidamente
he will talk
algumas
something
coisas sobre
about
pesca, né?
fishing. It's
Extremamente
really
importante,
important
né, a
fishing in
pesca no
Brazil.
Brasil.
Last year
Ano
we
passado,
grew
crescemos,
around
acho que por volta de
10%.
10%.
We started
Começamos sim, a
to
estimular a
stimulate
piscicultura no Brasil,
fish
a carcinicultura
farming
também,
and
né?
also
Tem
shrimp
criação de
farming in
camarão.
Brazil.
Ele tem um
He
estudo
has
muito
a
amplo,
wide
tá faltando
study.
um entendimento
We
com o Paraguai
have
para que
to
nós
have
possamos
an
criar
understanding
tilápia
with
naquele
Paraguay so we
mar
can
da usina de
grow
Itaipu,
tilapias
entre outras
in
coisas.
this
A retaguarda aqui está o
sea
Gil.
of
Ele não vai falar
Itaipu
hoje quase nada, está na
plant.
sanfona.
Gilson will not talk today. He's the president of Embratur. He has a bold plan being implemented, started in Pernambuco, founding in the coast of Brazil, directed to hotels, small vessels, carcasses of aircraft, and among other artificial reefs, helping diving and the ecosystem. So you can fish in there, you can dive in there. There will always be a fish around. We will found this too. We will dive the statues, sink them in the ocean, so we can help to increase the occupation rate in hotels. We'll put in the plan. The Navy will help us. Pedro Guimaraes has something to tell about Caixa Economica Federal Bank. When we took office in January of the last year, the interest on the credit limit, what is now? We reduced again to 1.8% a month. It was around 2.9. We reduced again to 1.8. We expected that it was coming to from a private bank, but it's coming from a public bank. We have to say good things about our Caixa Econômica Federal. I would like you didn't had a debit with anyone, but if you have to go to the Caixa Econômica. I've never saw something like this. We reduced to 1.8%, basically the lowest personal credit rate. It's not so low. Selic, it's around 2.25. We want to reduce it more, but we can be profitable with this rate, interest rate. Selic rate, 2.25%. Some say that we'll reduce even more, but I don't understand of economy. I want to don't understand about it. A lot of people watching. I want to thank Augusto Nunes, Zé Maria, Victor Brown, Fiuza. If you want to make questions, to Pedro, Marinho, Embratur, Gilson, and George Seif from Fishing. Feel free to make questions. Last week,
na região de
in
Jati,
Jati,
Ceará,
Ceará, we've been there
inaugurando, né, mais
inaugurating
uma
a part of
transposição de
São Francisco River transposition. What do you have to say?
Nós temos que ter recebido
We
orientação
received your
sua
guidance
de que não
that
devemos deixar
we
nenhuma obra
cannot
parada.
Stop
que
any
foi
of the works.
iniciada,
The works that have been
administrações
started in
anteriores,
previous
principalmente as
administrations,
de recursos
mainly the
hídricos
ones
tão importantes
regarding
para dar segurança
water
à
resources.
população nordestina do semiárido, né? Então a chegada
When
das
water,
águas do
São
São
Francisco's
Francisco
water
ao Ceará
are arriving
é
to
motivo de
to
comemoração
Ceará
para
is a
todos os
celebration
brasileiros,
to
né?
any
Isso é um sonho
Brazilian.
secular.
We've
Foi falado
talked
pela
about
primeira vez
this
por
the
Dom
first
Pedro
time
II,
for
essa obra foi iniciada há mais de
Dom
15
Pedro
anos.
II. The
A
king
ideia
was the
era
one who
terminá-la em
told
apenas
that
5
first
anos.
we would
Aconteceram uma série de problemas, desde
finish
questões
it in 5 years,
de
but there was a
projetos
lot
mal
of
feitos, até a questão
problems,
de má alocação de
bad
recursos.
projects,
Está quase o
resources
triplo do valor
allocated.
que foi
It's
pensado
almost 3
anteriormente, e nós
times
já
the
investimos
values
na sua
previously thought.
administração
In your
quase 2 bilhões
administrations,
de
we
reais. Chegamos ao
invested
Ceará
almost
e
2
até
billion
o
reais.
segundo
We
semestre do próximo ano vamos
reached
concluir
Ceará,
com o Rio Grande
and
do
we'll
Norte,
concluding
integrando
reaching
4
Rio
estados
Grande
Nordeste,
do
trazendo para o
Norte.
semiárido nordestino.
I think
Eu acho
this
que essa trilha de prosperidade
prosperity
que é a segurança hídrica.
that we'll
A
have
gente
with
termina
water
completamente a obra
safety.
até 22.
Não, acho que
Until
até 21.
21,
Até 21.
2021, we will finish the
Tem
work.
gente se afogando
There will
no
people
Cariri,
drowning
né?
Vão
Cariri
ter
River.
perímetros irrigados, vão ter adutoras,
The
mas
work,
a obra
São
do
Francisco's
São
work will
Francisco
be
a gente conclui no
concluded in
segundo
the
semestre do
second
próximo ano.
semester
Nós
of
temos aqui em
2021.
Pernambuco a questão da fruticultura.
We're talking
Isso
also at São
também
Francisco,
vai potencializar a
the
fruticultura
fruit
no
growing, fruits
sertão
farming all
nordestino
around
todo
the
ali, região do
region.
Cariri.
What
O que
can
você
you
dizer
say
sobre o
about
sabor
the
da fruta
flavor
nordestina?
of that
Presidente,
fruit?
essa obra está permitindo
They are
que uma
allowing
série
a
de
series
perímetros
of
irrigados que
irrigated
trazem a
perimeters,
agricultura irrigada, que é uma
a
agricultura de
high
alto
added
valor agregado
value
ali para a região do
farming
semiárido,
to
sejam
semi-arid
estabelecidos,
region,
além de água
besides
tratada
treated
na
water
torneira das
in
pessoas
people's
que
houses.
não têm água tratada.
People who
Aliás, é a
didn't
questão
have
do marco do saneamento,
treated
né,
water.
que também enfrenta esse problema.
Basic
Pode falar rapidamente
sanitation
do marco
too.
saneamento.
Nós
We are
estamos aí tratando,
treating
por exemplo, de segurança hídrica de 4
the
milhões e meio
water
de pessoas que
safety of
moram na
4.5
região
million
metropolitana de
people
Fortaleza, com a chegada
around
das águas ao Jati,
Fortaleza
a sua
region.
integração, cinturão das águas.
We are
Nós
talking
estamos falando aí
about
da adutora vertente litorânea na
more
Paraíba, são mais
than
de 400 mil pessoas com
400
segurança hídrica,
400,000 people
a adutora
with
do
water
Agreste lá em
safety.
Pernambuco.
It's a
Enfim, isso é uma obra
fantastic work of
fantástica de segurança
water
hídrica para
safety
toda
for
aquela
the
região.
whole
E o
region. And
saneamento,
sanitation,
nós
we
temos que
have to
comemorar, o
celebrate.
Brasil
Brazil
tem que
has to
comemorar,
celebrate
presidente,
because
porque
finally,
finalmente,
since
desde
in
2016 se
2016,
arrastava no Congresso
we
Nacional
had
a
this
discussão desse
discussion.
marco. Nós temos
We have
100 milhões
100
de
million
pessoas sem
people
cobertura de
without
tratamento de
sewage
esgoto,
treatment,
35 milhões ainda
36
sem
million
água
without
tratada. E
treated
agora o
water,
desafio da
and now we made
universalização desse
official
serviço tão
this
importante
important
vai
service
contar
with
com
the
o apoio
support
da
of
iniciativa
private
privada, porque nós temos
companies
agora
because we
segurança
have
jurídica,
legal safety,
previsibilidade
predictability,
e
and
atração para trazer
attraction
de
to
500
bring
a 700 bilhões de reais
500
de
to
investimento que vão gerar
600 billions of
milhões de
investment,
empregos, vão trazer sobretudo
millions of
saúde
jobs
e
provided,
produtividade para a população brasileira.
health
Então,
and
estamos todos de
productivity to the
parabéns.
Brazilian population.
Nós não consideramos regiões no
Brazil
Brasil.
is
Brasil
only
é um
one.
só país.
It's one country, and everything we can do to serve all, we will do. The good news in here
Vem do
is coming from
agronegócio. Como sempre, o
agribusiness.
agronegócio realmente
As we
falando
always
pra
say,
gente,
it's
né?
always in
Nós
the
tivemos saldo
upfront.
positivo de 7,4 bilhões, né?
7.4
Em
billion
grande parte aí vem do
agronegócio.
from
vem do agronegócio. O pessoal não
agribusiness.
parou
They didn't
de trabalhar.
stop working.
Enquanto no Brasil aí, essa
There
é uma
was a
competição entre governadores,
competition
quem parava
among
mais, né?
governors
Quem
who
protegia
protected
mais
more the
a vida
life.
O senhor
You will
brevemente
be
vai
in
estar em
Petrolina
inclusive,
City,
anunciando a
announcing
ampliação
the
de área
area
lá
of
do
the
perímetro
irrigated
irrigado. Já são
perimeter
120 mil hectares no Vale do
in São Francisco
mais de 300 mil
Valley,
empregos. Isso vai
300,000
anunciar lá a expansão de área naquele
employment.
perímetro, além de uma série de outros perímetros em outros estados do Brasil.
Last
Semana retrasada,
week
nós
we
estivemos liberando
released
recursos para
resources
perímetros
for
irrigados
irrigated
também ali na região do
perimeters
norte de
in
Minas.
the Minas
Então, nós estamos
State.
fazendo um trabalho, eu diria
Our
assim,
work is an
bastante
extensive
extenso,
one,
integrados com o
integrated
Ministério da
with the
Agricultura.
Ministry
E o resultado
of
tá aí.
Agriculture.
A agropecuária está dando aí um resultado extraordinário para todos nós.
Petrolina has
né?
many
O filho do
fruits
senador
farming.
Bezerra,
Fernando.
Fernando
Filho.
Ah, filho do Fernando Bezerra.
Mayor
prefeito lá de
of
Petrolina, lá.
Petrolina,
Prefeito Miguel.
Miguel
O
Fernando.
é o deputado.
E também ali no
And
no
Piauí.
o terra do Monsanto.
Parnaíba also received resources last year. You were not ministry yet,
Era o Canuto.
but part of the resources were released for irrigation. It will also be in this hall of cities like Petrolina, that exports fruits to the whole world. Now improving the situation at Parnaíba. My pre-campaign, I talked to him, the mayor. He sometimes talked more than 1 hour. And he had good words and good ideas. Parnaíba, I congratulate you and your mayor. What is a map of digital board? The Fisher Week we are celebrating, we did digital board mapping. The Brazilian fishing production through vessels could be manual and took to the superintendents, and those data sometimes were lost. We are rescuing it, the Brazilian fishing statistics, providing a new service, a digital service, so the citizen does not need to be displaced, he can do it at his own house. The second version of the amateur fishing license. You can do it through the website. The sportive fisher in Brazil can have a license digitally with no complications. He can print it, pay it. We took all the bureaucracy. We are also in touch with Navy, so we can make easier to take your driver's license for jet ski. Some countries, you arrive there, you just sign a responsibility term, liability term, and then you get your jet ski and go. And we can do something close to it, so we can help tourism in Brazil. You could put it in Eldorado Paulista City, Sete Barras. You could have 10, 15 jet ski for tourists. If you don't have a license, you just sign a liability term, and then it will help tourism. It's money going to the region. Everything is better. But you have to take out the bureaucracy, as he said, Jorge Seif. Digital board mapping. Now there's a lot of paperwork. Now through your computer you can do it. Let's come back to Pedro. I would like you to talk about housing. 3 positive news. Caixa Economica Federal Bank in June had the best month in the last 5 years. 11 billion reais, showing the economy is coming back, Caixa is strong, and in many segments we are really strong. It's good for the population, and we have now the electronic register of cards. 14 states have it already. You can do it online, and you reduce from 45 days to only 5 days. It's taking out the bureaucracy. Caixa is financing the purchase of the apartment, the registration costs, and people, especially in this moment of the pandemic, they are not expending a lot. Funding for small and micro companies. We have many lines. Pronamp, another partnership with Sebrae. Caixa has financed since the beginning of the pandemic 10 billion reais for micro and small companies. More than 110,000 companies receiving the loan. I never received so many videos in my telephone. you saw Dr. Raissa Soares from Bahia State making an appeal to me so hydroxychloroquine could arrive to her city because they didn't have it in there. We know that witnesses, not only from patients, but doctors all over the country, in great part, they say the treatment of COVID-19 in initial phase, it's being successful with the use of it. I called our Ministry of Health, General Pazuello, he signed on Wednesday, and now an airplane is leaving São Paulo to Salvador City, and tomorrow around 8 a.m. it will arrive 40,000 doses of hydroxychloroquine. Dr. Raissa will be there, and I hope she has not a surgery at that time, so that material is delivered to the municipal health secretariat and the health bodies from Porto Seguro. This material can be distributed. Congratulations to Dr. Raissa and Minister Pazuello that I want to end. Marinho, in the next Saturday we are going to Santa Catarina. We had a big issue this week, a cyclone. I never heard about this, a bomb cyclone. It affected a lot of cities, especially Santa Catarina. Our Civil Defense Secretary, we called the 3 governors. We sent our Civil Defense Secretary. Santa Catarina was really affected, 135 cities. He will help in this starting project of guiding the city halls to fill the papers, to request the resources, and we'll be overflying the region on Saturday to have an idea of the needs of that state. Dr. Regis, our friend, a doctor, he'll be with us in this mission Saturday morning. I'm inviting the congressmen of the region. It's just an helicopter. I can invite you all, maximum 10 people. Some of the politicians will fly the region with us so they will know better what is the damage. Rogerio Marinho, we will be available to serve you on the rebuild of these states and humanitarian aid. Last participation of Pedro, please. Emergencial aid. You announced this week the 4th and the 50th installment of emergencial aid. We are ending the schedule, so you'll be approved. It's important, Mr. President, up to 600 reais. In fact, 65 million people. We are paying 50 billion reais a month. In average, they are earning 900 reais. It's not only 600. In average, the benefits are around 900 reais. It's a great help. And Caixa Economica Federal Bank, in many cities, in the countryside especially, we have a big improvement. Exactly because you have this benefit. A decree will be signed this week and more 2 installments of 600 reais in July and August. We cannot keep this up for a long time. 50 billions a month. It's not an extra money. We are in debt because of this. So we are making an appeal to governors and mayors having the responsibility to open
e botar a
the
economia
businesses and
para
put the
funcionar de
economy
fato. Então,
to work
mais duas
again.
parcelas serão 5
5
parcelas de
installments
R$
of 600
Então,
reais.
por pessoa, no mínimo, R$ 3.000
3,000 reais at least
para ajudar.
a
Então,
person.
sabemos que é pouco, mas dá para fazer
So
uma
you
conta
can
ali para
buy
necessidades
the
básicas.
things or of your basic needs.
Bem, você que é do Nordeste, uma região mais
Northeast
pobre do
region is
Nordeste,
the
sem dizer
poorest
do interior, do teu estado,
region
Rio
of
Grande do Norte.
Brazil. I received some testimonials that people are buying construction materials, small renovations at home, purchases in the local businesses. It's extremely important. Gilson brought something to me. Brazilian Association of Horse Breeders. They wanted to do ecotherapy. The president sent us that for the first lady, 20 horses, so the kids can do ecotherapy. We will receive, we thank you, the horse breeders from Gameleira City. These horses, the first time must come for the military police from the federal district. We're talking about housing. We will release a national program soon. But it's important that the population to know that your government has delivered 500,000 houses, 500,000 families served, 5 billion reais from the union's budget. We have 289,000 units. We are retaking ventures every week, almost 100,000 units which were stopped, and you retook them, and until the end of the year, 50,000. In Santos cities, we will restart again. We restarted under your guidance. Rosana Vale, contact us.
Da ponte de
São Vicente.
São Vicente, ponte de Barreiros, né? Nós devemos.
Estive lá.
Is
it released for us? We will visit the bridge and also Tancredo Neves house condo, and we are delivering almost 2,000 units in São Paulo City.
Tem 3 pontes. Ajuda aí.
Batatal City, Eldorado, Itaoca.
Itaoca também.
We'll visit all of them. Has the work started?
Está no papel, está para lançar a pedra fundamental e começar essa construção.
Started.
Inclusive, olha só.
Nothing here is mine. I was with a jet ski in Ribeiro River. And then I parked the jet ski at, and there was a ferry crossing with the bride, and she invited me to the wedding, 2016. And I said, if I'll be the president someday, I will do a bridge in here. I will build one. Now we'll have the bridge. How many works from your ministry? Almost 20,000 works. Can you imagine the headache to manage all of it? And when we come back, we'll go to... You will remember the name of the city. I saw the name of the city, and I saw that I would stop in the middle of the way, and then a sergeant of the police, I called him, and I said that I was a president, and he hung out. I called again, and then I said him, I can show you my face so you can see me. And he turned it down again. Nobody believed that the president was calling.
senhor vai
You are
dia 10 pra
going
Bahia,
on.
né? Vai pro Nordeste.
You are going to
Dia 10
Bahia.
Bahia, nós vamos visitar também a Transnordestina.
Another
É
work
outra
we'll
obra,
Vai
visit.
passar no sul do Piauí.
A
enorme,
huge
a
work.
Transnordestina.
Transnordestina
Eu vou tratar
Highway.
sobre ela semana que vem com o Tarcísio aqui, que ela
It will be
será concluída
concluded.
também, assim como a ferrovia
And
Norte-Sul,
North
que começa lá no Porto do
South
Maranhão,
Highway.
está aqui no Maranhão,
It will
passa
pass
ali
through
por
Marinho
o estado de
Tocantins,
Tocantins, Goiás
and
e
Goiás
termina no Porto de Santos.
states.
Tapiraí, São Paulo. A gente vai fazer
São
um pouso,
state of
não
São
vai virar um
Paulo.
dia, não, tá? Fazer um pouso
We'll
aí
be there.
e
And we
bater um
talk
papo
to
aí
you
com o
with the
O
sergeant.
sargento, chamar o sargento para conversar, bater um papo com o sargento
We'll
aqui.
talk to him
trocar uma
and
ideia
talk
com o
to the
prefeito,
mayor, the
vereador da
community.
Deve pousar no campo de futebol, se tiver, para não causar grande aglomeração, né? E toda
We'll
vez que eu
land
for
on
em
a
algum lugar,
soccer field.
junto
Every
algumas
time I go to a
pessoas,
place,
sou massacrado aí por uma rede de televisão, sabe
the
qual que é?
people,
Porque tava sem
there's a
máscara, mas
TV
tudo bem.
channel that is
Lembrar que
always
hoje, 2 de julho,
talking
é
bad
Dia
things about me
Nacional
because
do Bombeiro Militar.
I'm not
Então, parabéns
wearing
a
a
todos os bombeiros.
mask.
Que
All
todos
of
nós
us, we
temos,
have
o
the
maior
best
nível de admiração
level
e
of
respeito
admiration
aos
and
bombeiros militares
respect
todo
to the
o Brasil,
firefighters
né?
of the entire Brazil.
Tá, e vamos passar também em Cajati.
Also, we'll pass
vamos lá,
through
o tiro de guerra tá sendo
Cajati
feito,
City
né? Com a
with the
participação do
participation of
prefeito
the
no
local
local.
mayor.
Vamos lá. PL da fake news.
Fake
no
news.
Senado, tá
We are
voltando os
voting against it.
Eu quero dizer a todos aqui que o
The
próprio
president
da
of the
Câmara
chamber
falou que
said that
o projeto,
once
uma vez
the
aprovado no
project
Senado,
was
ia sofrer
approved at the Senate would
alterações na
be
Câmara,
changed at
e
the
cabe a
chamber
mim sempre, né,
and
a possibilidade
I
de veto,
can
isso é natural.
give
O
a
veto, o
veto
parlamento mantém,
on
não
it.
derruba o veto, isso é
It's
natural.
natural.
Tá? Mas, logicamente, o pessoal sabe a minha
You know my
posição, eu
position about it and
sou
extremely
extremamente favorável à
favorable
liberdade total da
to
mídia.
totally
Até dessa tradicional,
truth
dando pancada
of
em mim
the
o tempo
media.
todo, não tem problema. Eu acho
Even
que
the ones that are
nós estamos
always
batendo
beating
tanto,
on me,
nós
they are beating on me and I'm growing.
Agora não podemos
We
admitir
cannot
a censura
admit
aqui,
to be
pelo amor de Deus.
censored.
E mais ainda, só
Just a
curiosidade, né?
curiosity.
Curiosidade.
We
Tem
have
aqui
an
uma análise,
analysis
vou dar
in
para
here.
são várias páginas, onde
Facebook, Google, Twitter,
Twitter e
WhatsApp.
fazem
There's a
parecer
report
contrário a esse
against
PL.
this
E digo
bill.
mais, né? Hã?
A technical
Parecer
report.
técnico, digo mais. Foram 44 senadores que
44
votaram
senators
aí
are in
favorável ao
favor of
projeto.
the
O
project,
pessoal está apanhando aí muito nas
and
redes
I
sociais.
talked
Eu
to
conversei com um
one
senador que
of
votou
these
favorável.
senators.
Ele
He
justificou,
said that he
falou
was
que ele
sorry,
foi equivocado,
it was a wrong,
que foi um voto
he was
eletrônico,
wrong,
né, e votou erradamente. Se
and
porventura
if
tiver
there's a
porventura,
veto,
se o projeto chegar bom, a gente
if it's good,
Agora, se
we'll
chegar
approve
como-
it. But the way
apresentou
it is
até o momento,
presented,
não tem
we
como
will veto,
não deixar
give a
de
veto.
vetar. E mais ainda, e se
If
passar
it's-
na Câmara, que eu acho difícil, mas
If
se passar,
it passed,
como já,
we can
a gente pode
publish the
publicar o
project.
projeto, né, ainda
I
porque
have
tem 15
15
dias para
days
sancionar ou
to
vetar,
sanction
e
it
daí o
or
pessoal vai,
veto
a
in
opinião
it,
pública vai dizer qual artigo
and we will
deve ser
say which
vetado, qual
article
não
will
deve
be
ser vetado.
vetoed or
Afinal
not.
de contas, quando se
When
fala
we
em
talk
liberdade de expressão,
about
se fala em
freedom of
democracia.
speech, we
Muita
talk
gente fala
about
da boca
democracy.
pra fora, mas aprova
A lot of
projetos
people talks
que cerceiam a
about
liberdade de
democracy
imprensa.
and
Você pode admitir
approve
isso aí. Eu
projects.
duvido qual cidadão no Brasil
I
é
doubt
mais criticado
there's no
na internet
citizen
do que
in
eu.
Brazil that is most
Com apelido,
criticized
um
on
monte de
the
coisa.
internet
Se eu
than
me sentir
myself.
prejudicado, eu posso entrar na justiça, né?
If I
Calúnia,
feel that I'm
difamação,
being damaged,
o que mais aí?
I can
Injúria, tá?
file
Agora,
a
jamais
suit,
querer
a
censurar a
suit,
mídia.
and the media. I will not
Já da
censor the
minha
media just to
parte,
protect myself.
quando
When
se
we talk
fala em
about
democracia, é uma
democracy,
coisa, se
but
exercita, é
it's
outra.
something. But
Estou aberto aqui ao prezado
exercising
aí, Augusto
democracy
Nunes,
is a
Maria,
different thing.
Vitor Brau, que use qualquer pergunta para
If you want to
que
make
está na mesa,
questions
exceto
for the
eu,
people on the
fique à
table, except
vontade que a
myself,
gente bota aqui no som
we
aqui,
can
responde
answer
pra
you.
vocês. Vamos
Let's go
continuar?
on. Today,
Hoje foram vários
many
projetos
vetoes
de lei
to
também que falavam sobre o
bill
uso
talking
obrigatório de
about the
máscara, inclusive
mandatory
dentro
use
de
of
casa.
masks.
Eu vetei,
I
ninguém vai entrar na
vetoed
tua casa.
that. Nobody
Pra te
will
multar.
enter
Eu
your
mesmo
home
aqui,
to
poderia ser multado agora
fine
porque
you.
eu tô sem
I'm
máscara.
without a mask, and
também.
us too.
Todo
Eu não
mundo.
tenho, olha só, a pessoa não tem mais respeito.
We have to respect the pandemic, and we are sorry about the
Mas deixa bem
deaths.
claro, né? A história
But
de
lockdown, being
de
at
ficar em
home,
casa,
the
o
goal was
objetivo era
making
fazer
the
com que os
hospitals to
hospitais
be
se
prepared
preparassem
with
com
beds
leitos, UTIs e respiradores para atender
respirators
quem chegasse infectado lá e
to
precisasse
the
de
ones
atendimento.
arriving at the hospital.
Eu desconheço, pode ser que exista, desconheço.
Any
Qualquer
person
pessoa
that
que
has
tenha
lost his
perdido a vida
life
por
because
falta de UTI ou
of
falta de respirador.
a bed in the
Então, o
hospital,
objetivo não é
the
não deixar
goal
que a
is
pessoa
not
se todos se infectem, não é isso?
left
aí?
anyone
Todo
to
mundo
be
sabe que
infected.
mais
It's
cedo ou
not
mais
that
tarde o
thing.
pessoal
A person,
contrair o vírus,
everybody
né?
will,
Então, o
at a
objetivo era
moment,
evitar
contract the
que
virus.
tivéssemos
The
fila de alguém
the
viesse a
goal
falecer
was
por falta de atendimento.
avoid lines
Isso,
in
pelo que
hospitals.
parece, pelo que
And it
consta,
didn't
não
happen.
aconteceu. Tá certo?
Now,
Agora,
the big
o grande
problem we
problema que
had
tivemos, foi muito criticado lá atrás,
was
foi a destruição
the
de empregos.
jobs
Eu
destruction.
não sei
I
quantos
don't know
milhões
how many
de
million
pessoas
people
perderam
lost
emprego no Brasil. Nós sabemos
employment
que
in
os
Brazil.
informais, 38
38
milhões
million
de pessoas,
people
ou a renda foi a zero,
was
ou foi reduzida
has
drasticamente.
their income
A
reduced to
OIT diz que
zero.
os países da América
In
do
the
Sul,
countries, South
esses
America
informais perderam 80%
countries
do seu
have
poder
lost
aquisitivo. Então, o
80%
problema é
of
que,
their
da nossa parte,
purchase
nós tratamos lá
power.
atrás, mas
These
essas
measures of
medidas
closing
de fechar
businesses,
comércio, de impedir gente de ir à
forbid
praia,
people to
entre
go
outras
to
medidas,
the beach,
essas
and
medidas couberam
those
aos
measures
governadores e prefeitos,
came
segundo o Supremo
from
Tribunal
governors
Federal. A
and
nossa
mayors.
apenas, quase que apenas mandar dinheiro para estados e
Our
municípios, e
part
mandamos
was only sending
muito
money
recurso
to the
para estados e
states and
municípios
cities
para
to
compensar a
compensate
perda de arrecadação
the
dos estados, que é o
collection
ICMS,
loss,
grande parte, né?
the
Dos
cities
municípios
and
e
the
ICMS.
states.
Agora mais de
We
10
sent
bilhões,
more
né?
than 10
10 bilhões, acho que é
billion,
hoje, se não me engano. Então, de
14
14
billion
hoje,
billions just
14
only
bilhões só
today
hoje
Todos os municípios.
going
estão
to
indo para
cities.
municípios do
Todos
Brasil.
eles.
Pedro,
Pedro,
something
uma coisa, não é,
else?
Pedro? Está encerrado você, né? Pedrão encerrou aqui. Continuar aqui.
Let's go on.
Cumprimentar
I
aqui
want
a
to
iniciativa do
congratulate the
comandante da Aeronáutica,
initiative
Tenente Brigadeiro
of
Bermudes,
Eduardo
que
Bermudes,
ofereceu para as
tenant,
empresas aéreas,
offered to air
comerciais,
companies
os pátios de estacionamento da
the
base aérea do
yards
Brasil, para que
from
aviões
Air
da
Force
TAM,
in
da Gol,
Brazil
da
so
Azul,
that the airplanes
fossem
could
para
go
lá
there
e
and
não
they
tivessem que
didn't
gastar
have
com
to
estacionamento
expand with
que existe no,
parking lots
nos
that
aeroportos
there
por
is
aí.
in the
A previsão de economia
there
em 6
are in
meses
the
para essa empresa é
airports
18
around the
milhões de
country.
reais. Tá? Isso
This
ajuda
will help this
essa
company
empresa que já
that
tem
is
dificuldades,
struggling
que eu acredito que
around
mais de quase 90% dos voos
90% of flights
foram
were
cancelados no
cancelled
Brasil.
here in
Então
Brazil.
essa aviação está lá embaixo.
Aviation is in
Então,
crisis,
essa
so
medida
this
aí do nosso
measure of
comandante da
our
Aeronáutica que
Commander-in-Chief
trouxe aí,
of
ofereceu os
Aeronautics
pátios
offered the
das bases
yards
aeronáuticas para que esses aviões
for the
ficassem
Air
lá
Force
a
bases
custo zero.
to the air
Quem viu, né,
companies.
Pedro?
Some
Alguns
say
falam, né,
that
está preocupado com o
he is
empresário.
worried
Pessoal,
about
se
businessmen,
quebrar a
but
empresa aérea aqui, vai ter
if
piloto
we
demitido,
broke, let the
comissário de
air
bordo,
companies broke,
ou as empresas que...
all the employees will
Alô,
lose
quebra
their
tudo no
job.
Brasil, quebra tudo,
Everything will be
certo?
broken. Another
Outra coisa
important
importante
thing,
aqui, o Conselho Nacional de Política
National
Energética
Council
ele mexe
of
contigo, em especial o Nordeste.
Energetic
O Conselho Nacional de
Policy
Política Energética estabeleceu
established
diretrizes para que o
guidelines
etanol
so
possa ser
ethanol
vendido
can be
das
sold
usinas
from the
diretamente para
plants
o posto de combustível.
directly to
O
the
que
gas
acontece hoje em
station.
dia? O
Ethanol is
virou
now a
turista.
tourist.
Ele sai
It
da
leaves
usina
a
aqui, anda
plant,
300 km,
walks
troca de
300
carro, troca de nota,
kilometers,
volta pro posto aqui do lado.
and
Ele anda
come back
600
to the gas
km.
station
E agora,
behind
então,
it,
tá tomando algumas medidas
beside
ainda
it.
para que
So
o
ethanol
possa
can
ser
be
vendido
sold
diretamente
directly
da usina
from
para
the
o posto
plant
de
to
combustível.
the gas
Não.
station.
Tomara que diminua.
O teu
Your
estado, eu acho que
state,
é um dos
I
grandes,
think,
vai, com toda certeza, vai.
will
Ao
reduce
diminuir o preço
the
do etanol,
price
diminui
of
a gasolina também, porque
ethanol.
a gasolina tem etanol misturado.
Pernambuco, Alagoas
Alagoas.
States,
A tua terra, Rio Grande do Norte, basicamente...
Rio Grande
você
do
tem lá
Norte,
sal,
your
Sal,
land,
frutas,
camarão,
you have
camarão,
salt,
tem muito camarão,
shrimp,
tem petróleo, gás,
oil,
energia eólica,
gas,
cassinocultura,
shrimp farming.
criação de camarão, hein?
o
Federal
Distrito Federal
District
começa a
is
liberar
starting,
aulas a partir
the
do final de
classes
julho,
are
serão
starting
passadas no final desse mês.
from
Hoje eu tenho
July.
contato com o
Ministry
Defesa,
of Defense,
com o João Fernando, para que a gente consulte essa
in
situação.
consultation with the
Para ver
Parents
como é rápido
Association,
façam que os 13 colégios
13
militares do
military
Brasil voltem a ter aula
schools in
normalmente.
Brazil will come back to have presential
Mas a partir do começo
presential
de 22,
classes.
14º Colégio Militar, no campo de Santana,
Santana,
São Paulo,
They will be working on one of the biggest military schools in Brazil. I would like that I had at least one military school in each state of Brazil. We have. In Natal, do we have? In Fortaleza, in Recife, Pará, Salvador. We'll do it. We have 2 ministers now, Marinho and Fábio Faria. Today, a report from AGU clarifying that military and navy schools, military schools are
são públicas para todos os
public
fins,
for all the
inclusive para
purpose,
acesso
including to
às
access
universidades
to
e institutos.
universities,
Por analogia, se estende também aos
also
colégios
the
da Polícia Militar e
military
Corpo Militar
police
do Brasil.
schools.
Não tinha problema, tinha
Some
alguns
deans
reitores não
did not
aceitavam aí
accept it,
os alunos oriundos dessas escolas para adentrar
so
a universidade.
you can use
Acaba
CISO
com esse problema.
tests
E deixo
to
claro que a grande
get in
maioria
universities.
dos alunos de colégio militar são filhos de civis. Tá? E são
The
pobres
students
também,
are poor as well,
também
so
não tem. Então,
we are
universalizando esse direito.
universalizing this
Tem pergunta aí,
project.
Não, pergunta do
A question from Zé Maria.
mandou para você não?
The first one
Bota
here.
primeiro aqui. MP do futebol. Tá?
Yesterday we had the first football match.
Eu não sei quanto, mas
I know it was more than 10 million reais that Flamengo has collected.
tinha uma televisão
A
aí,
TV
tinha o monopólio,
channel has a monopoly
500.000, 600.000
and
cada
pay
jogo. Então, o Flamengo
for
faturou
each
juntamente com o Boa Vista,
match.
né?
I think Flamengo earned more than 10 million reais.
Então, parabéns ao Flamengo.
Congratulations
Jair Bolsonaro, que assinou a medida provisória, tá
to
certo?
the president for that provisional measure
Para que os times
to
de
release
futebol,
the football
forma que
team
quer vender o seu direito de
so
imagem.
he can have his
E olha
right
só,
of image.
o que está na
What
medida
is
provisória?
inserted in the provisional measure? 5% of your collect, for example, 10 million. 5% will be distributed among the players. If you have a poor team, most of the football teams in Brazil are poor ones.
É bom bicho. No nosso tempo, né, mãe? Tinha bicho.
Now
Agora vai ter o bicho aí da...
you have the right.
Qual é a sua camisa aí?
Show your shirt, President. Show them.
Olha, rapaz.
Não?
Deixa eu ver aqui, ó.
I'm sorry, Felipe Melo, but I'm using Flamengo's shirt today because of the match of yesterday. An exceptional image, the broadcast. 11 million viewers only on YouTube. Can you imagine? Palmeiras, Corinthians.
Flamengo e ABC de Natal, tá vendo?
It will be a big show.
Isso daí faz o quê?
Seeing this competition, the team will decide to which channel he will sell. And the one that is playing better will sell it for a better price. Since if my team has good players, it will be for a better price. And the team that is not playing well, he has to work hard to have a better price for the sale. Brazilian football, it's being leveraged many times with all the respect. I think the players prefer playing in Brazil. They go abroad because of the wage. If they had a good payment in here, a good wage, the way that we are doing now with this provisional measure, serving the interest of the sportive class. So the player will earn more. And they will come back to the Brazilian football. Congratulations to the managers of the clubs, Flamengo, Paraná, Atlético, Ceará, Palmeiras. I got a shirt from each one. This is mine from Flamengo. They say I'll have to use the Corinthians shirt, but they have to get on board. They have to negotiate the right of image. I think the second biggest is Corinthians. Total successful, the provisional measure. Another question? Augusto Nunes, to the minister.
Não, vou aumentar o som aqui, tá baixo. Tá baixo aí, cara? Augusto
Nunes
Rogério Marinho.
For Rogerio Marinho. Minister, you were decisive on the approval of the reform of Social Security. If it's approved still this year, which would be the priority? I think. Good night to you, Augusto. A series of important reforms, changes in the regulatory landmark, the tax reform, no doubt it's a big challenge ahead. We are in this project with the changes in our economy. I think it's important at this moment that we have this synergy with the Parliament to change our tax legislation. I don't know if it's possible this year, but for sure we can start right now. Augusto, a time ago, we had some ideas. I am a professional diver, and I made some savings. 2016, 17, I was with this guy at the beach, first tenant of the Brazilian Army from Ceará. We are at the beach. It was in the end of the year, close to Christmas, and there's always something like that happening to me. I was seeing two girls, they will be drowned out. And 1 minute after they were drowning, I was struggling because she was with a lot of oil in her skin. They were around 15, 16 years old. And I had an idea of building. In Rio de Janeiro, we use it a lot. A cube, a rectangle, made of neoprene with one hanger in each side to save life. It's like and I doubt that for the price that are planned, around 100 reais, we could do it. My wife or someone open a company and do it. But then the tax burden arrived. Something that I could sell for 100 reais, so I could have a profit, I had to sell for 300. That's the big problem in Brazil, the tax burden, the bureaucracy. You give up investing and be adventurous in a business because you're in bankruptcy really fast. I want to make easier the life of the ones who want to run a business here in Brazil. Fiuza, please. The bill on fake news that will not be appraised by the chamber. Good night to you. This is the important moment to the country. We are living a moment when people are trying to solve problems through a bill that forbids the free manifestation of other people. Of course, I was also torn apart by fake news at the federal chamber, and when I was running to re-election, I had no way to defend myself when all the workers' rights are preserved in the Brazilian Constitution, and I'm not turning myself against the press or the free manifestation of anyone. I learned that really soon the contradictory is healthy. We are showing the vitality of institution as a whole. If I don't agree with an opinion, the proper field will be my voice, my word, and I can use the same instrument. You must remember, 2002, we voted a labor reform. The Ministry of Labor was Francisco Dornelles. The president was Fernando Henrique Cardoso. We didn't have the internet we have today. Me and many other congressmen, we were destroyed on the internet because we voted. They were saying that we want to end up with many things. And we're talking about flexibilization, for example, making installments and many other things. You could make in installments, use a benefit, the 13th wage. According to a standard, we were massacred with this bill, the labor reform, but the left party, they used the schools, billboards, posters in the streets. In Rio de Janeiro, the first one in the outdoors was me. We had a difficult year. 2017, with Temer president, we voted labor reform.
Não foi recorde não, porque eu fui lá. Não, eu vi candidato a presidente.
And Marinho suffered a lot because the left party, the unions, they wanted to end with the guarantees, with the 13th wage. That's not reason for me to censor the social medias. With the due respect I have to the parliament, the democratic game, if it's approved at the chamber, and I will make a popular consultation in what should be vetoed or not. If the veto has to happen, it's part of the game, but at the Senate, it passed with 44 votes, the simple majority. But to turn it down, we had to have 41 votes. There's one senator that said that he will keep the veto if it happens. Additional 3 senators decide to keep the veto, and the veto will be kept. For me, in what depends on me, total freedom in social media. Nobody is more criticized than myself. They call me homophobic, racist, fascist, that I don't like people from the Northeast region. The PT party, on the TV shows, there was a girl with a swastika on her belly. And PT party said that were Bolsonaro's supporters that did that. It was a big fake news. We survived it all. The population is understanding better, and it knows right away what is a fake news. I'm being judged by many suits. They say the most complicated one is that I would have propelled mass fake news through WhatsApp because of the elections. Have you received, did you receive on your phone a WhatsApp message concerning the elections in 2018 that make you change your vote. I didn't receive it. I think nobody here received it, and I'm being accused of doing it. It's the more severe one. It was filed for 7-0. That I had sponsored billboards all over Brazil. I was at the hospital. We collected 4 million reais, expended 2, and the other 2 went to the party. They have to discuss it and vote, but those are things that we are concerned when you have a lawsuit against you. And sometimes a minister can give a political vote. We know it can be like this way, but it's from the human being. But fake news. If I get my phone in here, so many things I've received. I would like to read some of them, but I will not give you some material. They make jokes to me the whole time. They compare me to all kinds of people. Yeah. They said he made Paulo Guedes go away. It's part of the folklore. We cannot be surrendered to what is politically correct. They talked about reverse racism. I don't know what is that. When someone says that he's not a racist, it's because he is a racist. It's difficult to live in Brazil because of these things. I like to make jokes to everybody. A person from Ceará, Rio Grande do Norte, Baiano, from Minas Gerais. I make jokes to all of them. But you cannot do it anymore. Because if someone is recording you, they file a lawsuit. I have a lawsuit. If I lost, I will have to pay 500,000 reais. I said I believe in God, my family, and good manners. And some people from an association of lesbians from Niterói made a lawsuit against me. And I lost. And it was to the Supreme Court, 500,000 reais. I don't know what to do. You don't know what to say anymore. We cannot act like this. We have to fight against it. And the freedom of speech, of press, it's important. You cannot be a hostage. You cannot live anymore. You live without information. Zé Maria has a question. Hello, President, Minister. I would like to know about the housing financing. When this new program of the government will be released, situations for finances for having your own house. And if it's possible with this new program to change the old fundings in this new legislation and this new concept of program that will be released. Well, Pedro, first, thank you for the opportunity. We are almost for 3 months addressing this project with a lot of care, because our idea is to allow the biggest number of Brazilian people has access to house credit. We are ending it around, everything is almost on clock. In the next 15 days, we will be in condition to release this program, launch this program. We want to decrease the housing
do Fundo de
interest.
Garantia, já que está havendo uma
We have
diminuição
a
da taxa
decrease on
Selic,
Selic
e
rate,
essa
and this
diminuição vai
decrease will
permitir que um
allow
número considerável de
a
famílias possam
considerable
ter
number
acesso
of families have
ao
access
financiamento
to
de casa
financing
própria.
of their
Nós
own
também
house.
tivemos uma
And we also have
negociação
a
com a
negotiation
Caixa,
with Caixa
que é
Economica
exemplo do que tem
Federal
feito em
Bank,
outros produtos, né,
as
como
we
foi o
do in
caso
other
aqui,
products like
do cheque
the
especial,
credit
né, está
limit.
abrindo mão de uma
You
remuneração
are
que tem
waiving
na
a
sua taxa de
remuneration that you
administração,
have
vai
in
permitir
its
que o número maior
administration
de habitações
rate,
com o
the
mesmo
biggest
subsídio que
number
é dado
in
pelo governo federal
houses
seja
with
produzida
subsidized.
anualmente, e nós vamos
We will
oportunamente publicizar esse número,
advertise,
e também
say
programa
this number and a
consistente
consistent
de
program.
legalização fundiária. Nós temos hoje
We have
10 a
10
12 milhões de
to
unidades
12
habitacionais no Brasil que não têm
housing
escritura pública, né?
units in
Então nós vamos
Brazil
lançar
which
programa
have
que
no
vai
public
ajudar,
administration.
que
We
vai
will
apoiar
support the
os
Brazilian
municípios
cities
brasileiros,
so
né,
they
para que eles
can
possam fazer valer a
apply
legislação
the
que já existe desde o ano
legislation
2000 e
which
que foi
exists
repaginada em
since the
2017,
2000s,
né,
and
para termos pequenas reformas
reformed
habitacionais e
it in
legalização fundiária
2017.
nas cidades brasileiras. Então,
Basically,
basicamente, é esse o fulcro, a espinha dorsal do projeto.
that's the project,
E
and we
esperamos em
wait
breve
soon
estarmos
we
lançando
will
o projeto
launch the
para todo
project
o
to the
Brasil.
entire
Pedro,
Brazil.
complementa aí, Pedro.
Como
As
o
Rogerio
Rogério
mentioned,
a
Caixa Econômica Federal is the bank of all the Brazilians, and it's the bank of housing. There's no possibility of having a so beautiful project not supported by Caixa Econômica. 99% of financing for low-income people is made by Caixa Econômica. When your government started, Caixa has only 22% of the market in average income, and this month almost 50%. We released the new product, and including the lowest rate in the market. Exactly as Rogerio said, we will always help the population.
Olha, o nosso
Our
Facebook,
Facebook, 80,000 people, and Jovem Pan Radio, 98,000. Congratulations to Jovem Pan, Augusto Nunes, Zé Maria,
Pedro,
Fiuza.
o Vitor Brown tá hoje não?
Any
Mais
other
uma pergunta?
question?
Tem mais uma.
Another one from Vitor Brown. Last one.
Já completou 1 hora, pô, senão o pessoal vai pedir
So
aí
they
pra
will
mim
charge
aqui.
me from
Ô,
extra
se for
hours.
ajudar a pagar, tudo bem. Olha, imagina quanto Pedro
Can you
cobra e
imagine
quanto
how
o Marinho
much
cobra.
they
E tem também
charge?
intérprete de livro,
And the
intérprete de livro
interpreter
também,
here,
caríssimo.
she's really expensive.
O médico
The
aqui,
doctor
qual que é
from
a
Embratur,
sua especialidade, ô, Roger?
he's a
Cirurgião
plastic
plástico,
surgeon
Está nos acompanhando?
following us.
Aqui, olha só, você comemorou
You
a vitória do
celebrated Flamengo's victory,
Tomando o quê? Tomando o quê?
eating tilapia and soda to celebrate Flamengo's victory. Another question?
Outra pergunta aí.
President, good night. I would like to ask to the President of Caixa Econômica Federal. The government decided to extend the emergencial aid payment more 2 payments in June and August, R$1,200. Was there any change in the system? The applications were improved? Which are the changes from the first to the second phase of payments? Good night to you all. Thank you for your question. The first thing, everybody who had approved the first 3 payments, they don't need to be registered. The register has automatic validation. The app has today 108 million people, the biggest application in the world. In terms of digital bank, it's improved. We don't have lines in the agencies anymore, and soon we will announce the schedule. We are talking with the Ministry of Citizenship, and President will validate it, and then we will announce it. But we can announce now that we will make the payment through the digital account very quickly, and we will announce it soon. Zé Maria, Fiuza, Brown, thank you for your participation.
A brilhantar aqui a nossa humilde live.
The ones watching us now, we are ending it now. and watch it because it's a really nice show at Jovem Pan Radio. I'm proud there are shows like this. Any other thing? Can we close? Thank you all for the opportunity. On Saturday, we'll be flying over Santa Catarina region, which was reached by the cyclone. We are available. Our team is already there. And let's fly over it so we can see close how deep the problem is and be available for the governments of the 3 states. What is possible to do, we will do. Anything else? Thank you all. I see you next week with Tarcísio here talking about railways. Good night to you all.